I know, exactly.
We got any Rhino fans out there? Kuzunoha? Yeah.
Kuzunoha fans, raise your hands up.
Any Devil Survivor fans? Devil Survivor?
Devil Survivor, yeah, that's what I started with.
Yo, who likes that sharp FV Tokyo Mirage Sessions in the house?
Who's buying an encore? That one guy in the back. Okay. I love the game personally, but
Yeah.
What about Arena?
Oh yeah, dude, fighting games, that's where it's at, man. You can catch me on some fighting games, you play some Arena. I'm waiting for that P5 Arena.
Oh yeah.
That comes out.
Awesome. I can tell ArcSys to make that.
Oh yeah. Put it on something that's not a PS3, please, Atlas. A little bit.
Computer, please.
okay, so I guess we're ready to start this. Everybody's
like filing in, you know, it's all good.
I'm just looking at the back here. Just waiting everybody to get settled in.
Can we put this over here? It's kind of blocking me.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Just recording.
Alright, we got a few. There's some extra chairs, you know, make space where it's available. There's space at the front too. Alright, we're good?
Yeah.
What time is it now? Are we ready?
It is 2:59.
1 minute till
1 minute. We're gonna give everybody just a little bit, you know. Change your pants, keep them on. It don't really matter. Law, chaos, y'all can get out.
Oh wait. Raise your voice when I say the alignment that you're with. Law.
No law in here?
No law.
Literally no.
No law for
no
people
law.
here?
No law.
Only one? Just
No.
Oh.
Yeah, that's
I'm pro chaos. I'm chaos.
You're chaos?
Yeah,
Chaos.
Raise your voice for chaos.
Hell yeah!
Yeah. Chaos route. Let's go.
Power to the individual. True demon path.
All right. Neutral.
Wow.
All right, let's get this started. I see we're at 3 o'clock. All right. So everybody, I'd like to welcome you to our Tensei and Persona panel at AWA. All right. So I guess we could start off by introducing ourselves.
Yeah.
All right, let's go, buddy.
Okay, so I'm Yarly. I started my YouTube channel about 4 years ago, doing a podcast called The Heretic Mansion, and recently I started doing actual videos. So yeah, be sure to check out my channel. You can follow me on Twitter, join my Discord. You can also follow me on Twitch. I stream sometimes, but yeah, that's about it.
Hey, sounds good.
Yeah, didn't you reach 11K subs recently?
10K.
10K subs. Wow, yeah.
So it's a nice achievement for him. Yeah.
All right.
All right, let's go on to the next one.
I am Griffin Senpai cosplay. I would have been in a Joker cosplay from Persona 2, Eternal Punishment. Anybody played that?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
there you go.
photo shoots happen, so it is what it is. My YouTube's Curse of Joker is rebranding. I usually do like a variety streaming. I stream a lot of horror games, Resident Evil. Any Resident Evil fans out there?
Yeah.
You're not here for this, forget about it. No, but anyways, Facebook me, I don't care. Codie Guy Griffin, personal account, never horny on main. Twitch, Exalted Symphonian. Discord, Exalted Symphonian. I'm all about cosplay, martial arts, fitness, lover of Ruby, fantasy, and SMT. JRPGs as a whole. Hit me up anytime. Ring of Gaia, y'all chaos dudes. Don't hit me up. No, I'm just kidding. I love everyone.
Yeah.
Logging represent.
Honestly, this is a guy to go to for any fitness advice.
Oh yeah.
Honestly, you post some good stuff.
Oh yeah. But that's it for me. Who's next?
All right, and we got Noblec. Hey.
Alright guys, I'm Noblec. I've been a community member. I've known these guys for a very long time. I've been playing SMT since I was very young. My first was, ironically, like Nocturne, I think. Or no, Strange Journey it was, which is really hard. I've been script writing. I've been trying to get a lot of my stories and stuff out there. I've been trying to publish. I've been writing for about 8 years, I would like to say, since middle school. I like a lot of different kinds of JRPGs, not just JRPGs, horror games, psychological thrillers, stuff like that. I like a lot of old movies. I've been really into music and media for a very long time, and I hope to be a part of it, especially with all of you guys.
All right, sounds good. And now-
Little sweet.
Of course.
All right. So my name is Neos. Honestly, when I made this slide, I wasn't thinking. I thought it was gonna be a big meme. But anyways, I am from Canada. I have been obsessed with Shin Megami Tensei ever since I started Devil Survivor, and I've been a fan. I've been playing all the niche games. I just wanted to kind of share my knowledge with you guys on how much I know, and just to get you guys into the nitty-gritties of what Shin Megami Tensei is, how it started, what games you should play, what stories are really good to follow in the games as well. So, yeah, other than that, like, you know, after the panel, for any advice, if you're having trouble on a certain game, let's say Strange Journey, or I can share you some tips and tricks for that as well. So, yeah.
All right.
All right. So, who's championing this?
I will.
All right.
Okay, so Megami Tensei didn't actually start out as a video game. It started out as a novel by Japanese novelist Aya Nishitani. It was about a bullied high school student who basically tried to get revenge on his bullies by using his knowledge of computers to summon demons. So it was later adapted into a video game in 1987 for the Super Famicom. Then I believe it was 1990 when Megami Tensei 2 came out, and that was the first game that featured multiple alignments and multiple endings. So then on the Super Nintendo, Atlas, now publishing under their own title, there was Shin Megami Tensei, released in 1992, and then 2 years later there was Shin Megami Tensei 2 and Shin Megami Tensei If. Now, what made Shin Megami Tensei If stand out from these games was that it was, unlike Shin Megami Tensei 1 and 2, it was like an epic about the forces of heaven and hell represented as law and chaos going to war with each other. It took place in a school setting, and it focused more on things like the psychology of the characters. So, and this was the game that would be the inspiration for Persona. So in 1996, we got Megami Ibanroku Persona on the PS1, and after Eternal 2000, the Persona series got rebooted in 2006 with Persona 3, and this was the game that basically started the formula of the Persona that we know today, with like the whole overworld, the social links, the dating.
You like waifus out there? Sorry, I had to throw that in. It's all about the waifus now, right? I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, we all like a little bit of touching, you know?
Yeah.
A little bit of skinship for those Fire Emblem fans out there.
Oh, god damn it, you're talking about face now. Alright, I thought that was a dead meme. But anyways, I'd like to interject for a little bit, but as you can see on the visual on the side here, you're probably confused why Raito goes into SMT 1 and into If and into Persona 5. To be honest, we're going to mention this in later on in another question, so keep an eye on that visual and make sure you have it memorized.
Committed to memory. It will be tested. There will be a grade.
Yeah. Alright, so next one.
So, despite all of the different versions and different kinds of SMT and Mega 10 and Persona games, they share overall a giant database of demons and personas in the Persona series. They would call them that. Basically, pretty much, what you do in most of these games, if you don't already know, is you basically fight a bunch of demons, either with your persona or your own demons you have controlled using computers on your arm, which is, in SMT, it's what you would use. In Persona, it's more so you gain the trust of the more directly and you use it as your own persona. Not only that, but there's most SMT games fall under the law and chaos, and only certain neutral, and only certain spin-offs don't include the alignments. Even in Devil Survivor and some other games, they have a pseudo-similar situations where instead of alignments, it's just characters, which in SMT did the same thing. Overall, most of the franchise consists of just doing pretty much that. Persona introduces the social links, and other spin-offs introduce different other ideas like demon loyalty, and more social link aspects. And only in newer games, like from the PS2 era and onward, we had the press turn system, which was added, which pretty much made the game more like Persona, even though it was introduced before Persona, but it's more akin to what you might be used to, like Persona 5, Persona 4, where every time you get a critical attack, you can keep attacking. And that basically became the fast-paced combat of SMT. And that's pretty much most of the franchise, how it works, so.
Now, before we move on, like what you mentioned earlier about, collecting and summoning demons, a lot of people are thinking, oh, that's like Pokemon, right? Well, I mean, as you probably saw in the last slide, Shin Megami Tensei came before Pokemon in 1987, so it was basically the game that started the whole mod genre. So if you're one of those people that's kind of disappointed with how Sword and Shield are looking, look no further than Megami Tensei.
Yeah, I'd like to say something about that as well. There is a lot of differences between SMT and Persona, and I know some Persona fans are, they have trouble playing the SMT games. Honestly, this is where the community comes in, and if you do have any troubles, like people like me can help you out with making a game a lot easier. It's all about just strategy and thinking, team building as well. It kind of tests that. For the whole collecting genre, SMT 5 really needs to do well, and I'm pretty sure you guys know about that coming out. But SMT 5 is a crucial aspect of the franchise's success in the near future. If SMT 5 doesn't succeed, then we probably won't see anything else from SMT for a very, very long time.
Besides DX2.
Yeah.
Anyone here play DX2?
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, so yeah, exactly. DX2 is probably like the boneless version of SMT right now that you can play. They take some aspects from SMT 4, but it's still fun. It's really grind heavy though, so if you're not into grinding for like literally hours, I don't recommend it.
Mobile game gotcha.
Yeah, exactly.
We all know it all
They
too
literally
well.
pay. You have to pay to grind essentially in that game. It's a little weird. I wouldn't even recommend it. All right, so next slide. We're going to talk about the new and upcoming releases. All right. So Persona 5 Royal,
right? Yeah, okay, yeah. So Persona 5 The Royal, first of all, let me just go ahead and ask, because it'd be less of a show of a hand, but who hasn't played Persona 5? Well, you're completely okay with starting with Royal, because it's a plus, like, kind of like, what is it, Fest? Like Persona 3 Fest, Persona 4 Golden. It's kind of just Persona 5, but with more pizzazz, as if Persona 5 didn't already have enough of that. Anyway, so the full game, of course, was revealed at PSS 2019. It came out the day before yesterday, so on Halloween, that's when the game dropped. Introduced the third semester at Shujin Academy, which is great because you kind of want more, you want more interaction, right? Like, who goes to high school and just sits, kind of like any old anime character? We're not trying to be, these loners. We're trying to go out, we're trying to get waifus, we're trying to kill some people, over mementos, you feel me?
Who's high for Kasumi though? Like,
Yeah,
honestly.
Kasumi?
I see you in the back there. I've been eyeing you.
She's like
She's ready. She's ready.
Yes, I love it.
Yeah.
So, Kasumi, of course, and then you have Takuto, which he's like the school counselor, and he really loves the Phantom Thieves, so, he's gonna enable you to do more thieving, right? Getting more hearts.
Yeah, he's the guy with the glasses, I believe.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, he looks really cool. Like, I can't wait to interact with him.
And then you have Jose. We don't know much about him, but he does have some weird hair.
Yeah, the egghead guy.
Yeah, it's 2019. You can give your flowers more than, some girls, right? Some dudes like flowers too, so, you can give him flowers for items. At least that's all we know. But Morgana gets a human form. Any Morgana fans out there? Who likes going to sleep?
I don't.
Aren't you tired? You should go to bed. No, I want to spend time with my teacher.
Go to bed, you're tired.
My shoulders are sore. I love that feature, by the way. I've used that so hard.
Hell yeah.
But of course, there's new gameplay features, updated animations, and all-out attacks. Have y'all seen like the team-up all-out attacks where it's like, what is it, like Yusuke and Ryuji, they're just like sitting in the bar or whatever. I think it's Yusuke and Ryuji? Yeah. And they're just like get up like Yakuza members and they're like, no, they interrupted my Robin. Like, you know, Ryuji's, he's like, what the heck? You know. But it's developed by P Studio leader Wada, which is great because Wada has had quite a history with Atlus as a whole, and it's good to see him working on a project. Hopefully, in my opinion, I would love to see them kind of touch back on older Persona. If anybody knows who Philemon is, I would love to see the return of Philemon or Narlithotep, because to be honest, that old lord, with me being an old head, I'm sorry y'all, being a boomer, real boomer hours right now, but I would totally love to see the old boys, you know, come back. That'd be great.
Hey, there's space in the front, man.
Yeah, if you want to, yeah.
If you want to come, everybody coming in late, there's space at the front here.
Yeah, but that's Royal for right now. I'm looking forward to it, and people are already playing it, so don't get spoiled out there, okay?
Okay.
All right, so the next one we're going to talk about is Catherine Full Body, and I'm going to pass it over to John.
Okay, so as you would expect, Catherine Full Body, it's not a sequel, it's just a remaster of the original Catherine, which was released only for PS4 in the West, but there was actually a Vita version that was only released in Japan, digital only. You know, it's got fully remastered graphics, which I'm in quotes because it's actually not that much of an improvement over the vanilla version, and it also adds a new character named Rin. Now, I'm not gonna spoil anything here, but basically, Catherine Full Body was developed by Studio Zero at Atlus and then released on Valentine's Day to positive reception, but there was also some controversy over one of the new endings. And then in September, about 2 months ago, we got it in the West, and it's got some new cutscenes, some new endings, and you know, it's like got a few gameplay tweaks here and there. But to be perfectly honest, if you've already played Vanilla Catherine, I wouldn't recommend buying it for $60. Like, I'd say play it at some point, just wait for the price to go down. Because it's not like a new take on the game, it's basically just a remaster of the original game.
Hey guys, there's actual some seats up here if you want to sit down. There's some on this side as well. Yeah. All right, get you guys up and, you know, settle down.
Make yourself at home.
Yeah. Okay. There's also some over here too. Okay, so the next one we're going to talk about is P5S Scramble.
Okay, so yeah, this game, you all probably saw the trailer during that live stream that Atlus had. It's coming for both the PS4 and the Nintendo Switch. So for those of you that are waiting for a Switch port of Persona 5, you can't play Persona 5, but you can at least play this. But anyway, it's a Warriors game, but based on what they showed in the trailer, they're adding a lot of mechanics from base Persona 5, so it's kind of like a sequel to Persona 5, but with different gameplay. But anyway, it's incorporating a lot of the elements from Persona 5, like the ailment and weakness systems, and apparently Joker can also use multiple Personas too, just like he can in Persona 5. So it's being co-developed by Koei Tecmo Games and Omega Force, and it takes place half a year after Persona 5. So what I'm confused about is, like, does this game take place at the same timeline as the Royal or what? So
if I may interject, it seems like, at least from what I've heard and all through the grapevine and like the people that translate and post information, it's more akin to an action RPG than anything with like some Muso, some warriors involved. So if you are all about, you know, having certain loadouts and stuff not for your characters, like, you'll get that game coming out, apparently. More will be revealed, of course, at a later date. But for now, it's actually looking really good. And for me, not being a straight-up Muso fan, I'm actually willing to buy it and give it a try because it has characters that I love, and with the action RPG element, you know, that's what I look for.
Yeah, and it's releasing February 20th in Japan. And probably September for the West.
please look forward to it.
We actually didn't update the slide because the trailer actually dropped like a couple days ago, I believe. It was either like last week or something.
It was about a week ago.
Oh, it was a week. Okay, yeah, and we didn't update it in time, but yeah, you can probably view this trailer on their official YouTube channel. One thing I'd like to say though, I'm not really a big fan of Persona 5, but this game looks really promising, and I'm willing to give it a try. And that's kind of surprising for me, but yeah, it's shaping up to be something that I never expected from a Muso game. So, that's like the reminder in the back of my head that it's a Muso game. All right, so the next one, I think.
Oh yeah. That's
I think.
Yeah.
That's you.
Yeah. Okay. So Tokyo Mirage Sessions, as you know, as Marth, the musical, where if you've seen that really cheesy scene where they're like Fire Emblem, that's the game. Super Saiyan Marth having a great time. It's a blast. It's first released for the Wii U, of course, in Japan, and of course it got an English release, which had a lot of how would you say? A lot of controversy and negative views because of the censorship and whatnot. However, me personally, I like my ladies in some stylish outfits rather than some bikinis, but it's okay. That's my opinion. It was planned to be Shin Megami Tensei X Fire Emblem, which for those out there that are salty about that, all they did give us was a couple of JPEGs. So I was hyped just to see a crossover with like Rido and maybe my boy Elliewood or like Roy and anybody else. That'd be great. Roy and Boy with Earring, if they were to throw in some Persona, that'd be great. But the story is about Japan's idol industry, which is a big thing. In the idol industry, you can't even function as a human being. You have like aspects of maintaining your status, so you can't date. It's just like just like K-pop. They have to remain very pleasing in every aspect for the sake of their product, the stuff that they're pushing out. So it's very stressful, and it dives into the psyche of being an idol and going through those pressures. And Stan DeCrom is pretty cool. I don't know if y'all seen him, but he's like real edgy. He's a cool guy. It was announced on September 4th at the and it will release on the Switch on January 17, 2020.
And it's a worldwide release.
Oh yes, it's simultaneous.
A worldwide release of a Megaton game. Who'd have thought that would ever happen?
Well, I think it's more so Nintendo actually behind that.
I don't even know if Atlas had anything to do with it.
Yeah, I don't think
Probably
Atlas
just
did.
Nintendo.
Yeah. But
Nintendo's
otherwise-
doing people favors this time around. It's good.
Yeah. Another thing as well I'd like to mention about Tokyo Mirage Sessions Sharp FE Encore. I know there's a lot of people in here that haven't bought the Wii U. So, depending on what the stance is you take to buy this game, I definitely recommend it because it's just another RPG on your Switch that you can play on the go. And plus, it's got that similar feature to DDS. I don't know if you guys played Digital Devil Saga, but the Encore system is a little similar to the Karma system.
Oh, yeah.
And
I didn't even know that.
yeah,
it's
it's really
very
good.
similar.
It's very similar, man. Yeah, so definitely give this a try if you just need another JRPG to play on the go.
I mean, please do. I mean, I can't get enough of JRPGs in my life.
I personally love Toma. He's the red-haired guy there.
Oh yeah, he's raw.
He's raw, dude, man.
He's like an otaku too. He's like a closet like Kamen Rider fan.
Yeah, he's a closet Kamen Rider fan. So if you guys are into tokusatsu or like any live-action shonen anime, like this guy will relate with you.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. All right, so next slide is DX2.
That's me
That's
again.
still you.
All right, so as the certified to talk about DX2, let me tell you that it's probably the best Shin Megami Tensei game nobody's playing because it's a mobile. Yeah, it does indeed have gacha elements, but there's a lot that you can do with the demons provided. Of course, you make a team and it runs on an MP system. However, the characters are really interesting. You can pick multiple characters that have multiple abilities. My favorite character's name is Kangaroo Boxer. He's like this Taiwanese dude, and he likes to take his shirt off. And I mean, if you're looking at me right now, no relation. But it was released worldwide last July after a test run. Of course, it's mobile exclusive. They got to make their gotcha money. It does have gacha elements as previously stated. Provides a genuine SMT experience on a smaller free-to-play scale. So you're not getting cheated. You know, there's like, well, you are getting cheated. It's SMT. Let's be real. But other than that, you are getting the full, almost the full experience as far as the demons you collect, their weaknesses and everything, and of course you can have them learn new abilities. And the game crossed over with like Bayonetta and other Atlas and Sega possible. Like the crossovers are possible. Like Dante, like it's wild. Oh yeah, that one. Or from Nocturne, that Dante. Like Joker's from Smash, but. So it crossed over with Bayonetta, which was a pretty interesting thing to see the little interactions that go on with the crossovers. It's honestly pleasing, and to be honest, if you don't have it downloaded, try to download it. Some phones just don't really take it because I don't know what Atlas is thinking. But other than that, feel free to try it out. It's free. I mean, you don't have to spend money to be like decent in the game. Other than that, that's pretty much it for DX2. Do y'all have any?
It's also got a pretty awesome augmented reality feature.
Oh yeah,
you can summon demons in your room.
Oh yeah, that sounds real good in the South,
People have been using that feature to make a lot of memes. Like, I don't know if you saw the Baphomet in the kitchen. That one was really good. Like, oh, Baphomet is making me a breakfast today or something. I know I forgot it was on Twitter, but it was really good. Yeah.
Woke up, Jack Frost, no filter. God, he's beautiful.
Exactly. All right, so next slide, we're going to talk about SMT 5, and I think Noblec, you're going to champion this, right?
Oh yeah, he's got
SMT 5 existence. It's been announced for quite a while. We've only really had 2 trailers. There's a decent amount to go off on, a lot of little snippets here and there released by the different people working on it. For example, a lot of the concepts and ideas are a combination of Nocturne and SMT4. So we're probably going to be seeing a lot of different ideas from the original style of SMT and possibly the styles that Nocturne implemented, which was not necessarily alignments, but it was reasons, which basically any person could create their own alignment by sheer power and will through the collection of different resources around the world. SMT.
Nocturne, and is it going to be hard as crap?
It probably won't be. I think it's going to follow the same vein as SMT4 when it comes to that. And you.
And if it's going to be a Switch exclusive, are they going to release all the other SMT games on the Switch as well before it comes out?
There have been talks, like I know Kazuyuki Yamai, they didn't really explicitly like show it on like a trailer or anything. He kind of wrote on a blog post, it was translated in Japanese, but essentially he is interested in making a Nocturne remake, and from there I think they will release everything else.
Right. Okay, and also I just want to say we did get a statement from Nintendo, I think it was like a day or 2 ago, that they do want to bring more 3DS games to Switch. So I would not be surprised if we were to get like SMT4 collection or something like that.
Oh.
It's just up in the air. It's just an idea. It's not really confirmed yet, but Yamai has said that he wants to put Nocturne on the Switch just to kind of gain that interest.
Yeah, it's pretty promising. They in Japan it's a lot more popular than it is in the West, so even though if it isn't as well received here, it will definitely get support, and there will always be content out there, no matter how slow or how quick it comes out. But I will say though, even though there hasn't been a lot of information on SMT5, besides the fact that, those trailers with the different kinds of words, if you've seen it at the release, they do definitely pay attention to the older releases, because in all the announcement trailers, well, at least in the second one, they did show a montage of every single SMT game spin-off, including Persona. So they do attention. It's just all a matter of the resources and a matter of who's interested and who's not. So whenever those polls come out for Atlas, definitely take part, because it really makes them understand what we like and what you like. So,
real quick, just on the topic of SMT5, there was a trailer that was revealed that had the demons swarming down, attacking the people. Man, that is so promising because one, that's metal. But like, that is a callback from what I know with SMT, where you see the Chaos Hero. He's getting like slaughtered by demons or whatever. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's my memory's hazy. But and he talks about, he's like, man, if only I was stronger. Power of the individual kind of like thing. The whole. Yes.
Actually, he was getting beat up by a bunch of thugs.
Oh, thugs. Yeah, my bad.
The arcade town.
It's so hard to see in like the old school games. My bad. But I feel like it's a callback to that because usually the people that come from the vein of chaos, the chaos alignment, are the ones that are looking for that strength, that ability to stand above, and like it could be for protection otherwise. But it's the having the strength to live your own life and not being subjugated. And so that's what we kind of get. And them showing us that in SMT 5 really helps to bring about that they're doing that callback, that they're introducing all these elements to make the game well-rounded for veterans, the old heads, and the newer people that maybe wouldn't give SMT a shot to begin with.
Another thing I'd like to mention to the callback, he does gain power later on, and in the way you wouldn't expect it. Yeah. And it's honestly, that kind of represents Chaos as a whole if you ever want to go play SMT 1. Because like Chaos Hero kind of just embodies the whole definition of what a Chaos Hero is like.
Definitely. He's probably my favorite in SMT 1 actually. It's ironic, considering my cosplay, but I'm the law hero instead. Cool jacket.
Cool jacket, yeah. I guess we can move on now.
Yeah, that's it for SMT 5. Not much is going to be going on for a while.
Alright, so... is it frozen?
What?
I think the law hero's fighting back right now.
Wait. Okay, so we're going to move on to fan translations. So this is like an untouched area that a lot of people don't really talk about, because there have been a lot of translations within the past months and years now, and I just don't see why none of the bigger sites are talking about it. Like I saw Vice, I don't know if you know about the article website, they talked about the Thracia patch, like for Fire Emblem. Like nobody ever talks about that, and Vice is like a very popular article outlet for people who want to read articles online. That's crazy that they even mentioned a whole niche Japanese to English patch on their website. And I'm just kind of surprised that the community over here, like the Persona community, doesn't really talk about what's going on and when it comes translation wise here.
Yeah, it's just the dedication, because a lot of the time they take a really, really long time to do it, especially if it's smaller member teams, like Aeon Genesis, which was literally like one person. Yeah, and he was the guy who originally translated the original first 2 SMTs and brought us the story and everything back in the day.
And we got SMT If translated, which is like the center focal point or the starting point of Persona as a whole for the timeline. So, and that's exactly what we're going to talk about. SMT If, also known as Persona Zero. Yeah. What's up?
Persona If.
Yeah.
Persona If. Yeah, exactly. Persona If. Might as well. Yeah. So this was released on.
Bless you.
This was released on October 28th in 1994 for the Super Famicom, and it's the third entry in the mainline series, the Shin Megami Tensei series. So essentially, this takes place in an alternate universe where the bombings in SMT 1 and 2, because they're like 2 peas in a pot, essentially, so they kind of carry off on their own timeline. So this is where that whole like ICBM attack didn't happen for those who've played SMT 1. And this is how Persona was kind of created, because it was shifted into a different timeline, and they decided from SMT If that they will do the whole Persona series from there. That was more of like a creative approach or take on Kaneko, Codie, and I believe Satomi Tadashi as well, who wrote the first Persona 1.
Yeah.
Noblec, you want to add anything to that?
For Persona 1?
Yes.
Yeah, definitely the idea behind the school setting actually was a lot more about, really surreal. It was actually about the ideas and memories of the developers back in high school, and they really wanted to embody this dreamlike memory feeling with Persona 1 and SMT If to a degree, and eventually the other games, about their memories, and kind of it was a game accessible to both older people who wanted to reminisce the dreams and interesting little things they went about in their day during high school because you have more free time, and also appeals to younger audiences when they can relate to all these people because they're up to up to no good, doing whatever they want, having fun, enjoying their youth. And it's interesting because despite all the crazy things that happen in the game, and absolute just insanity that ensues, there is no real alignments in Persona, but you get a strong feeling, regardless of these strong morals in the Mega 10 series, about the characters instead. It's more about the psychology of these characters. And even though sometimes they may seem a little cartoony due to their old nature, they are very well done, they're very well written, and they're extremely likable to a degree. So if you can get past the really old school gameplay and see past, if it's hard for you, because there's a lot of fans that don't. That a lot of
No
people,
pun intended, eh?
Yeah. A lot of people can't get past it.
Yeah.
You'll see a lot more than meets the eye there, for sure. It's very, very deep.
Another thing I'd like to mention about the Guardian system here. So this was actually the first exposure, or I guess a bread and butter for what Personas are today. So the Guardian system, how it works in SMT If, is that once you die in the game, you're assigned a new Guardian. That Guardian is based on how long you have been alive in SMT If. So there's actually 2 or 3 colors to represent it. I think I played the PS1 version. It could be completely different for how the Super Famicom is. They usually have red to represent you'll revive with a weaker demon. Orange, I believe, for you'll revive with the demon within your level range, and green, you'll revive with a demon that is higher than your current level. So that essentially is the main mechanic for the Guardian system. And honestly, it's the best thing. I thought it was a creative way of actually doing that. It rewards you for, even if you have stayed alive long, it still rewards you after death in a sense. And it still has its reprimands to it as well. But yeah, that's what SMT If is all about. It's in a school setting, and I guess depending on how you guys view these old games, they're really, really hard. Honestly, just take a good crack at it. If anything, there is no harm in consulting a guide. Honestly, people think consulting a guide is you're cheating yourself. No. People are gonna judge me for it. No, just go on GameFAQs. Make the game easier for you. If you need to play through it, if you want to get the story out of it, it's highly recommended. SMT If is actually one of my favorite games, so definitely play for the story.
Yeah, it's really cryptic at times, for sure. The guide thing isn't really necessarily some detriment or thing to look down upon.
Yeah.
Most people, if not almost all, usually do it.
Yeah. All right, so let's move on to the next slide.
If you like Persona, that's the daddy. That's the daddy.
So I think
that's me.
Yeah, that's all I know about.
Speaking of the daddy of Persona, we have its third sibling, the third game in the series. Ironically, it's another game that's number 2. It's probably the more standout out of all of them, especially for me, because I don't necessarily relate to all the characters in this one specifically, but it's being translated by a guy, CJ Urakura, who is translating Devil Summoner, which is another one we're going to talk about later. And he is basically the guy that is also translating a lot of Suda 51 games and stuff like that. This one specifically, I know for his reason for translating it, is that it's very mature. It's one of the most mature Persona games in the entire franchise. It has an entire... Yeah, Tatsuya, who is a returning character from the first game. And in fact, it's interesting, they have silent protagonists in Mega 10 usually. Almost all the games are silent protagonists. In this game, they do a really interesting job. In the first game, they have the silent protagonist Tatsuya, and they have a character named Maya, who is the protagonist in this game, but she gets fleshed out in story in the first game. So you get her character, And then in the second game, which is this one, you get Tatsuya's character. So it's a really interesting way of doing a silent protagonist because even if they don't talk and you don't get much out of them, you already know what they're about. So they have a character.
Yeah.
It's double the character. You're literally getting everyone fleshed out. It's a super creative way of doing it. Not only that, Eternal Punishment touches on a lot of, I would say, darker issues than most Persona games do. Of course, a lot of the issues in the newer ones also are crazy. In P5, there's a lot of the things of Kamoshida, which is very, very dark.
Oh yeah.
But in a lot more somber to a degree. Many of the characters have varying problems with their adult life, including romance, stress, and money issues.
Work as well.
Work, yeah. It's more toward adults. It's more like a seinen kind of game.
And it kind of sucks because Atlas, like, I wish maybe for Persona 6 they actually kind of come back to this whole idea of like, what if it's adults now? What if it's not high school teenagers, right? Because we know we all have that whole juvenile aspect of us. We know we all went through high school at some point, and we saw things that not other people actually experienced. And now it's kind of like, why don't we just kind of move past that and go to the the adult side and see how it's like in the workforce? Like maybe if it's based on North America, then at that point, like it will relate to all of us in a sense, right? Or even the workforce in Japan as well, because it's bad over there actually. So that would be nice to see the whole change in tone when it comes to Persona 6 if they decide to go that route.
Oh yeah, I'd like to say that like the tone of the character, because Persona is all about the characters. These characters all have their own thing that they have to deal with. So you'll see a lot of stories in Persona 2 Eternal Punishment that are similar to like Naoto's story in Persona 4. You see a lot of things that's based around memory and the idea of camaraderie and the idea of telling white lies for the sake of preventing, your own back up from your friends' issues from coming back up, because it's a very bittersweet story. But if you liked the character arcs in, let's say, Persona 5 with like how they dealt with Kamoshida and Shiho, or if that's like relatable with like Futaba or anything like that in Persona 2 Eternal Punishment. It's definitely not a story for the faint of heart, but if you played through Persona 5 and you can stomach the, older gameplay, so to speak, it's definitely up there as far as one of the best Megaten games, in my opinion, one of the best Megaten games you could possibly play.
Yeah.
Yes, go ahead.
No, it's that what he was saying is definitely something that I would definitely keep in mind. A lot of things from the older games were kind of transferred spiritually to the newer ones. 2 has a lot of elements from 4 just reversed into a degree, like the shadow characters. There's a lot of them in 2, and 4, they use them in a different way. They both use them pretty well, to my opinion, but I would definitely say if you enjoyed any of the darker aspects of any of the Megaten games, Persona 2 is something that I would say is a must-play, especially Eternal Punishment. My favorite Megaten game next to a couple other ones we'll get into later.
All right, I guess we're like short on time, so let's move on real quick.
One more thing I want to mention about Eternal Punishment before we move on is that you actually don't have to wait for the PSP translation to come out. You can download it now on the PS1 version for the PS3 or PSP.
Well, the problem with that is that the PS1 version is very outdated and so it's going to be super slow.
I mean, it's not like it's playable, but it's just kind of weird going from Innocent Sin to
you're going from a PSP game to a PS1 game, and then that's going to kind of screw you up a little bit. Yeah. So let's talk about the Majin Tensei series. So Majin Tensei was released on January 28th, 1994 for the Super Famicom. Majin Tensei 2 released on February 19th, 1995. The whole thing with these games, I think, actually, let me ask this question. How many of you guys here know about Majin Tensei? Oh, okay. So that's really unexpected.
That's surprising. That's
so
like
Majin Tensei. I love this. I love this game. It's really, really good. honestly, the translation is out for both of them. So definitely pick it up if you're a Fire Emblem fan, because it kind of plays like Fire Emblem.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of grind heavy, but it plays like Fire Emblem. Honestly, like this is what I had in mind for Tokyo Mirage Sessions, like a SRPG kind of like, you know, crossover with the characters and stuff for, you know, when they announced that trailer. This was the game that kind of like envisioned it for me. Just a question about?
Yeah.
Yeah, it works like Devil Survivor. In fact, Devil Survivor was actually inspired by this game especially. So
Oh yeah.
definitely, I would definitely give it a try if you're a Devil Survivor fan and if you're into like the whole SRPG mechanics and whatnot. The, you know, skills and everything work the same way. In fact, when you in Fire Emblem, you equip your characters with like armor and like, I guess like swords and whatnot. It's similar here too. You can do it with the demons and the humans as well. So the demons can also equip like a sword. They can also equip like chainmail or whatever it may be.
It's
Like,
wild.
It's crazy, and they have like you can fuse demons into armors as well. So that's another thing too that I'd like to mention. But yeah, it's like very, very, you know, all over the. Also got like 6 endings. That's a lot for an SRPG game. Majin Tensei 2, though. Majin Tensei actually just has the 3 standard endings: Law, Chaos,
Yeah.
and Neutral. Anybody want to say anything about that?
No.
No?
Oh, yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Check it out if you know want the chance. If you're like a retro gamer, it's
Yeah.
definitely something.
It'll also take you a long time to beat.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's very, very, very time consuming.
Oh, yeah.
The game actually goes by really slow.
Yeah.
So if you can stomach that, definitely.
Turtle Tensei.
Turtle
Yeah,
Tensei.
Turtle Tensei.
That's what we call it.
Yeah. All right, so the next one, Devil Summoner, and I'm gonna pass that over to you. But if you guys haven't noticed, I'm the guy there.
He's the guy.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Yeah, give it up for the guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the guy.
Yeah, the protagonist. All right.
Yeah, so Devil Summoner, basically, it stars this guy. He pretty much is. This isn't necessarily a spoiler, it's a very simple thing in the synopsis. It's a man who, his girlfriend and him, basically are gonna go on a date, and a evil priest comes out of nowhere and kills him and sends him to the river of hell. And out of nowhere, he goes into the body of this demon hunter, devil summoner, crazy guy with a gun computer. This guy, pretty badass. Basically, the entire game, you join this detective agency and you go about summoning demons and defeating them and basically clearing out and investigating different parts of your hometown. Devil Summoner is a spin-off that was made around the same time as Persona 1, and you can definitely tell with the art direction. It's pretty much a more laid back, similar to detective fiction, if you want to, pretty much. And honestly, it's also, it's probably my second favorite Mega 10 game. It has a lot of very relatable, interesting things about it, especially with real life, normal things. It's not a slice of life at all, you would say, but it has a lot of things that you would think about during daily life, especially since it's a lot more of a homey setting. Devil Summoner, definitely, it's not translated at the moment. It's in the process of being translated by the same person who is translating the Eternal Punishment PSP translation. It's taken quite a while. I'll say that because there is a series that specifically specializes in, like I said earlier, loyalty of your demons. It's more D&D. It's definitely a lot more complex. A lot of the dialogue options are super specific and interesting, akin to games maybe like the old Fallouts and stuff like that. It's very varied. And
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
no, I was just really quickly. I was just gonna say, the loyalty system can be somewhat hard to get a grip of, and most of the time, the gameplay can be super frantic to a degree.
Yeah, another thing with the loyalty system, in fact, there's a mechanic where you can actually drunk your demons,
Oh yeah.
and
Yeah.
you can actually form a relationship that way.
Yikes.
So it's a little
Risk.
illegal, technically, with
Illegal.
today's terms, but.
They're not human.
Yeah, but they're not human, so and
Yeah.
it's the only way
Do
to get
crime.
them up to like the highest, so the 5 ranking. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the
Loyalty.
loyalty system.
They,
And- yeah, go ahead.
No, is that it's more about the psychology of the demons per se. A lot of specific characters and stuff like that, but it's more like the older SMTs where it's more about the general moral on the characters and what they face. I mean, very few characters. And it's not about all the characters. It's more about the demons and how you like find a relationship.
Also, one more thing I'd like to mention about this game: if you've got a significant other, definitely play this game. Honestly, it relates. I was like shocked to like just figure out what this guy was doing because he's technically dead on the arrival of the game. He's dead, and his girlfriend doesn't even know about it. So he's just having an identity crisis in general. And as you play through the game, they will explain exactly what happens. It's honestly, just give it a shot.
Yeah, I mean, I've always wanted to date Mara, so like, you know.
Is the Sega Saturn version getting translated or the PSP?
The PSP version is being translated. The Sega Saturn version, unfortunately, according to the translators, they said it was too hard to translate.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because the Saturn was actually cracked recently for hacking.
Oh, and also apparently Atlas USA wanted to bring this game to the West, but Sony was like, there's
wasn't
not
enough
enough new content.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, the same Sony that upscaled The Last of Us to 1080p.
Right.
Yeah, but apparently, yeah.
Is this the same main character that also appears in Persona 2?
Daisuke Todoroki.
Okay.
Daisuke Todoroki actually is Kyoji Kuzunoha. He's the old guy in the Kuzunoha detective. Who you're talking about is actually Satomi Tadashi wearing this outfit. Yes, he's from Persona 1.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. All right, so let's move on. We're short on time, so let's speed through the last few slides.
Oh yeah, that's me. Okay, so Shin Megami Tensei Reimagined. First of all, who's played World of Warcraft? Anyone play Final Fantasy 14? Or any MMO? It doesn't matter. We've all touched one. Free to play. Maple Story. Anyone? Yeah, I do. Shin Megami Tensei Reimagined is quite honestly one of the best. Interesting, but one of the best MMOs you could possibly play. It was released on April 4th, 2007 for PC, and it was the second SMT MMO-oriented game next to SMT 9 for the Xbox. But Japan doesn't like the Xbox, and neither do I, so... the official server shut down in 2016, unfortunately, but there's a private server if you want to play it. We had the Spookies or something.
Yeah, we got that going.
You know, or something, like I don't know what that's from. What'd you say?
People do speak English, right?
Yeah, they do.
Yes. I mean, there's actually a lot of Brazilians too. It's interesting. There's a fan-made private server, and there's a Discord with facts so you can get yourself downloaded and started. What's great about this game is it is a lot like you know, Pokemon, as in you can have like your partner out and your partner will do attacks and you have set to macros, and you also learn stuff. So you can do like different builds where if you want to be really tanky, like, you know, classic SMT boys, like, I don't learn spells and I can't read, so I just hit as hard as I can. You know, something like that. You can play that, but if you want to be like a mage and sit back, or some people that I know really like to be like a supportive role. There's something out there for everyone, and to be honest, the character tree is absolutely amazing. There's not much else about the game I can tell you other than go try it. It's a little dated, but it's honestly a good time. And in the corner, as you can tell, this man says you can call him the Snake Man. His name is Snake Man. Yeah, and he's in Home 3, which is, if you know what SMT is, Home 3 is basically where you start out, you become a Devil Buster, and you just head out from there. But please, check it out. It's so much fun.
Music's also great, right?
Oh yeah,
super amazing.
Well, when is right?
Yeah. All right, so let's move on to the next slide. So I got this. Megami Tensei. How many people know about Genshin Megami Tensei?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Okay, 4. All right, so Genshin Megami Tensei, for those who knows about what happens in like the first few scenes, but essentially
it ain't great.
It's a PC-based game. It's turn-based. It plays like any other dungeon crawler. It has the same multiple endings. The Windows version that people are using to play this game now, there's a way to play it. There's actually a guide on 4chan, I believe. So if you go on SMTG, they probably even have it like on the general board. But there's probably other ways too. There's probably YouTube guys who actually set up the executable to work. This is actually the only game in the Mega 10 franchise to have explicit content, like very, very explicit content. I'm talking about gore, nudity, and everything. So
it's gruesome.
It's really gruesome. So if you guys want to check it out, it's there. It's not translated yet, but it is actually being translated by there's ideas to translate it right now. We just need, I believe Thomas said on Twitter, I guess a person who can hack PC games.
I just want to say that we cannot recommend it, hence the rating of this panel.
Yeah, exactly.
But if your morbid curiosity gets your cat, you might want to get your cat back along with this game.
All right. So,
and if you do want to play with a somewhat crude translation, it is possible to play with a machine translator.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. All right. So the next one. These are our picks. So let's quickly go by this.
All right, so Griffin Senpai cosplay, me, nerd, whatever. My favorite games, in no particular started, and usually like your first love is your favorite. I actually got into the series with Persona 3. I had played Digital Devil Saga 2 back in the day.
Yeah.
I also cosplayed Junpei, if you saw my little slide at the beginning, cute. But Persona 3 I really enjoyed because it was at a time where I was going through high school, so I was around the age as all the other characters, and they were approaching ideas like death, and they were approaching ideas like coming of age, becoming an adult, like most Persona titles, except instead of dealing with shitty adults, we have Persona 3 dealing with shitty personal issues. But I do enjoy it, and the idea of an apocalypse is both exhilarating and also depressing. Other than that, I love the Raito Kuzunoha. Soulless Army is borderline unplayable, which again is a game where there's demon collecting. You go around trying to figure out saving your waifu in the first game that gets kidnapped. It's like really classic, and like if you watch the opening, it's got like a lot of jazzy stuff. Because the music's always great. And my third pick is Digital Devil Saga because it approaches the idea of being in the military. It approaches the idea of having to survive in the post-apocalyptic world where there's tribes, where there's people afflicted by these afflicted by a thing. And when they're inflicted by this thing, they can transform. And in the beginning, in the opening, it's like devour, are warriors of purgatory, because the whole idea is, yes, devouring, it is a might makes right kind of world, but these people are trying to balance that with the idea of humanity, and that's my picks.
All right.
Okay, so for my picks, I went with Devil Survivor Overclocked, because I started with Persona 3, but Devil Survivor was what kind of, it was the second Mega 10 game I played, and it's reminiscence to classic Mega 10. It's kind of what introduced me to that style of storytelling that I fell in love with. It's Strange Journey because that's one of the most mature themed mainline games. It's the only one made for a Western audience. And I just think Strange Journey is awesome. It's got some great dungeons, great gameplay, and Digital Devil Saga for the same reasons Rick said.
All right. So for me, SMT 4 and 4 Apocalypse. I played this game. I played SMT 4 in particular 8 times. That's really excessive. So I definitely recommend that as well. I also recommend Devil Summoner for the reasons I've said. I'm obviously dressed up as a main character, but definitely give it a try. I really enjoy this game. And Majin Tensei 2 because, hey, if you guys are into Steins Gate or any type of time travel anime or VNs or video games, this is essentially right up your alley for time traveling and stuff. They deal with a lot of serious themes as well, especially with the protagonist. It's also one of the first games I've ever seen where a protagonist actually retorted back to a demon and said, hey, you're mean, or he said something I don't know, along the lines of that. But yeah, those are my picks.
My picks, pretty obvious from what I said earlier. Persona 2 Eternal Punishment for its really mature adult themes and characters. Devil Summoner, because of all the homey, interesting ideas and very cool demon negotiations, stuff like that. And Strange Journey, definitely for its maturity and strong emphasis on, the scenes and stuff like that.
All right, so we're gonna move on to the next slide. We're gonna go through this super quick. We've got a quiz, so if anybody wants to give a shot at their Megaten knowledge, go right ahead.
Right.
So what are your favorite Megaten games to start off with?
We could call this.
Nocturne? Yeah, just call it. Just call it out.
Nocturne.
Hey.
Digital Devil Saga? P4?
Survivor, P1,
P3.
P5?
P3.
P3.
P3? Yeah, alright. So you guys got great taste in here. Wait, you in the back?
Persona Q2.
Q. Hey! That's your Odyssey fans.
Okay, anybody their favorite is 3 or 5 dancing?
I don't know
It's
about
a
you guys.
fun game, okay?
Yeah. If you like spending money, you like the dancing games.
Alright, so the next one. Shin Megami Tensei, what are the names of the 3 different alignments?
Law, neutral, chaos.
Neutral chaos.
Chaos. Alright, next one. Out of the 4, which of these Megami Tensei games has the most endings?
A.
It's actually C. Whoever got C, raise your hand. Alright, there you
It's
go.
called 9 because of the 9 different
Yeah. So the artist that is known for the popular anime, Dorora. Who's watched Dorora? Yes! I love that anime. Who worked
my
on
goodness.
what Mega 10 game?
Devil Survivor.
Devil Survivor? Yeah, go ahead. Devil Survivor.
Oh my goodness.
Who is responsible in the world for creating the Persona universe?
B.
You are correct.
Who said you Narukami? You gotta educate yourself, buddy.
He just created my children. That's it.
Who published the first Megaten game?
Ooh.
A.
Yes.
Namco.
Yeah, I got it
Or
right.
Namcot.
Or Namco.
Amcot.
Alright.
What was the first Megaten game to be released in North America?
C. Wait.
It's actually Jack Brothers. Yeah. Revelation Persona is the second one,
It was the
actually.
earliest game, but it wasn't the first to be released. Which console is the only official localization of Shin Megami Tensei?
Everybody should get this one.
Oh my goodness.
It is D.
iPhone.
If you said C, you're technically not wrong because it's a port of the Game Boy.
Don't you got phones?
Alright. Everybody should get this one now.
Hey, come on now.
Alright. What notable character from the Noble series proudly cameos in SMT 3 Nocturne? Are you sure it's not Marcus? It's Dante.
Dante.
Alright.
Anti.
I think
That's
we're
it.
done for now. Candy later on, so if you guys are in the hallway, I got some Canadian chocolate, so if you want to try some, we got Mr. Big, Wonder Bar, Crispy Crunch, we got some,
They don't know it's Canadian candy. They don't know these names.
they don't know, but hey,
Thank you all for
thank you
coming
guys
out.
for coming.
You're a great
I
audience.
appreciate
Thank you
you
very
guys.
much.
That's a